Yes, Kayla.
Good morning. The question that pops up since I joined the Zoom to ask you is how did you meet your teacher?
Well, it's, question is favorite ones. Uh, the only problem I have is where to start it, how far back to take it. But the short version is that uh, I, after 19 years of alcoholism and drug addiction, I was struck sober uh, without in the middle of the night at the end of a 4-day binge. And I was exposed to the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, which uh, suggested a couple of things that I had not looked at before, which the first one was that I was powerless and that the solution to my problems was to recognize some force greater than my egoic self, which was not, neither of which were particularly attractive ideas, but they did grow on me. And I did begin to pursue that line of questioning. What had happened to me? What force in the universe was capable of transforming me so profoundly and uh, intensely without my wanting it, asking for it, or in any way being involved in it. There's no possibility that I could claim any kind of authorship for that. So that was the crack in the wall that let a little bit of light in, and I began to see that there was something going on. And that began an investigation, which took me into all kinds of teachings and books, and I had met a guy who had a similar experience to mine, and it was just back from India, had a big spiritual library, and invited me to graze through it, and I did. And I did that for a couple of years, and then through that process, myself and some friends who were engaged in this with me, we one of the somebody got a flyer in the mail saying that there was this guru coming from India, and uh, they were only charging $1. So we figured, what the hell? We'll hear this guy, see what he had to say. And that guy was my guru, Ramesh Balsekar, who was the retired president of the Bank of India, uh, educated in the London School of Economics, a very bright, well-educated, interesting person in his own right, and a spiritual teacher. So that was quite intriguing. And so we all went to this initial meeting in Los Angeles, and I found it intensely boring and unfathomable. The whole thing was just not very much to my liking. And I thought that was probably the end of it. And I went off on a business trip. I was a businessman. And I came back from that trip a couple of weeks later, and it was as if something had bitten me and incubated that night. I thought there was something about that guy. And he was speaking up in the Hollywood Hills at a private home every day, doing 2 talks, a morning and an afternoon talk each day. And so I went up to investigate further. And in that initial meeting up there, something very profound happened for me. When he walked in, sat down, I was struck. I described it as my heart burst open. There was a experience of profound connection, or what I today call resonance. And that in that resonance, there was this enormous opening and love and all kinds of really incredible stuff. And I was taken aback because I was not that kind of person, that goes and falls at the feet of some 72-year-old bespectacled banker from Bombay, But there I was, and I was captivated, and I was drawn back again day after day to be in his presence and to be exposed to the teaching, and that teaching and that connection became one of the uh, pillars of my existence. So